Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today we're going to be reviewing the brand new album by Taproot, Scissors. So this is pretty much their first album in around 11 to 12 years. So like Stained, who I have reviewed last week, Taproot have also come back with this record after a long break. And I was not really interested in this, to be honest, just because I didn't hear anything about it. When I saw Taproot had a new album, I just felt like it's the same with Stains. Like, cool, they're back, I guess, but is it gonna be as good? Honestly, just be honest. The Stained album as a comeback, I think, is more intriguing and more interesting than this. At least with the Stained one, there's some ideas, and I can understand what they're going for, and I think they do bring decent elements to the table. But this record is just so much the same of what we've heard before, just in, well, a new decade. The last album, The Episodes, was kind of a flop, and I don't think anyone really has heard of them since then. This was already at the point where they fully declined, our popularity kind of fizzled. But I think from what I remember of the album is okay, but this same branch of new metal that they've just brought back with this as well is just, it's just so predictable at this point. You already know what each song's gonna sound like as soon as you hear it, and there's just no point then at this point. You already heard it, it's just not really as intriguing. I find the first couple of songs to be the highlights of this record. As I was jamming along with it, I was kind of expecting, this is definitely not going to be a top tier Taproot album, I can tell you that, because Taproot were definitely in their prime around the Welcome period, which I consider to be a vastly stronger period than this. But yeah, this still has some decent songs. I think Victim Play, I think it's kind of a fun little bit. I think it's a nice way to start the album off. Favourite song, I was surprised they actually had the lead vocalist for Nonpoint, Elias Soriano, to appear in this one. I kind of was not sure how I felt with it, but as soon as I heard the rest of the album, this definitely is one of the highlights of the record, and I think the two play off each other quite well. And We Control Our Destiny is a pretty solid banger, one of the heaviest Taproot songs they've done to this date, so I think they've done some pretty good. I think they have a pretty good start, but the problem is they just don't really continue that motion, and it just goes downhill from there. No One Else to Blame is one of my biggest problems with this record. It's just how dumb the sampling is. They just sampled like children, just like children singing, just children talking, and it's just downright weird just to have on this track. I don't see why it's on here. It has almost no reason to be. You could just not have it and it makes no difference, but this just makes it downright just dumb. It doesn't make sense. It literally ruins the good ideas this track had, and I just don't really like it that much. And as soon as we get into Scared Together, I already knew this is not really going to get any better. I think we hit the peak straight away, and downhill you're just going down the summit every single time. It's not going to get up from here. With Imagining, the auto-tune was already annoying enough, but this whole bridge talking about the future with all this distortion, it's not cool. I find that more annoying, to be honest. You can always do these sound effects. Like, this is the type of shit I can see Code Orange doing, and it works. Like, they have all these weird ideas, they might incorporate some weird samples, but they make it work into the song. I just feel like it's there to make the song stand out. The only reason this song stood out to me is because of that, and it's not a good thing, because I don't think the song is really that engaging. And straight away we go then into Second Thought, and from then it just depletes into just more and more obscure stuff I'm just not really a big fan of. The Best Things in Life has this really annoying do sort of thing that you just hear in a lot of artists these days, and you know, it can work. It gives it a bit more of a poppier tone, but they just add some weird distortion onto it. I don't know what's their idea with distortion on points, but it just sounds honestly so weird to me. It doesn't make sense. I think it just sounds off. It's not a fun addition to this track, and more importantly, I think, again, this is the only thing that actually stood out to me on this song, and I just don't think there's really anything that does that on the second half. The only things that stood out, like I mentioned, is just these weird samples or just weird decisions to add this. There's not a song that just propels energy like We Control Our Destiny. There's not really anything that plays off as well as favourite song. I think the Love Without You track with Audrey Ray is the guest vocalist on there. I just don't think it's interesting enough to carry it. I'd probably say it's one of the safer, probably one of the more well constructed songs, but around that point it's just so blaringly obvious that the band's not really trying to one up the classic sound. It just feels like what we've heard before, just in my opinion, just done again and again, to the point where it's just kind of beating a sort of dead horse to it. I honestly just don't really vibe with this record. As a matter of fact, one of the best songs is the bonus track right at the end, and if that's one of the best tracks, is just the bonus song, I don't know why I would even bother with most of the record, to be honest. I think, unlike Stained, when it comes to a comeback, I don't think this one is nearly as good. I think at least Stained have some really good songs that just absolutely pull you in. Like, some of the songs throw you out into a weird ride, but I think Stained has enough material for it to keep it the way it is. I think even plus the ideas on there's some good elements. I just don't think Taproot really have it on their own. And I'm going to give this album a 1.5 out of 5. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video.